What's a team without its fans? When it comes to the NFL, I think we can agree that both fans and players alike can be quite eccentric. So sometimes when these two sides meet, we get some interesting results.
Oh, we got a little tackle on the field here with someone running out. And Diggs took out some frustration on him.
NFL games can be a spectacle to behold, not only on the field, but also in the stands. As a whole, football has some of the most passionate fans of any sport. But sometimes these passionate fans get carried away, or they're the victims of some circumstance beyond their control, and the result is a strange encounter between a fan and an NFL player. So without further ado, let's take a look back at 10 of the strangest encounters between the players and fans. Let's start with one of the most recent bizarre incidents we've seen, and that's what took place at FedEx Field in Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Jalen Hurts. After a crucial victory over the rival Washington football team, Hurts was doing what damn near every NFL player does once the game is finished: jog off the field towards the locker room. A few Eagles fans caught Hurts' eye as he was heading toward the tunnel, as they were reaching over the railing for a high five from their team's favorite quarterback. Again, something that we have seen literally thousands of times over the years at NFL stadiums. FedEx Field, however, is no regular stadium. It belongs to what many consider to be an utterly doomed franchise, and as is the case with most things in Washington, the near worst case scenario happened. As the fans were reaching over the railing, Hurts eased over towards the supporters to dap up and show some love. And out of nowhere, the protective railing gave way, and along with a pocket of fans, went tumbling to the ground, nearly taking out Hurts. Luckily, Hurts moved swiftly and avoided the apparatus, which very likely could have injured the quarterback, just ahead of the postseason too. In the moment, Jalen remained composed, first checking to see that all the fans were alright, then posing for a couple of quick pictures with them, as stadium officials stormed over to force the fans back into the bleachers. While the fans were excited to meet Hurts, they were troubled by the response from the stadium officials, who, according to Andrew Collins, one of the fans in question, didn't ask if anyone was hurt or if anyone needed medical attention. Something that many would think would have been a natural response following such a serious accident. Instead, because this is the Washington football team we're talking about, the stadium officials berated the fans and screamed at them to get the F off the field. Hurts was also disturbed by the incident and penned an eloquent and directive letter to the rival franchise, essentially demanding they do something to ensure the safety of the fans and the players going forward.
The railing collapsing by there, can you give us the blow-by-blow, and what was your fan interaction like there?
Well, I'm just happy everybody's safe from it. That's crazy. That's crazy stuff right there. That was a real dangerous situation. And I'm just so happy everybody bounced back from it. It seemed like it. Passion of the Eagles fans. I love it.
The response from the stadium officials is not surprising, though. In fairness to them, there have been quite a few incidents over the years in which fans have actually forced their way down onto the field on purpose with the intent to cause a little chaos. Like we saw happen to Brett Favre back in the day, when a fan ran down onto the field during a game between the Green Bay Packers and Cincinnati Bengals and literally took the ball out of Favre's hands during the middle of a play. There's simply no place for that kind of behavior, as indicated by the massive hit that was laid onto the perpetrator by one of the members of the security team. Now, I'm not going to say that he had it coming, but, well, yeah, he had it coming. While this is one of the few times a fan has actually interfered with the play, this isn't the only time we've seen a strange encounter after a rogue fan ran onto the field. How about the time that a streaker ran down onto the pitch during the Pro Bowl and was literally jumping into players and bumping shoulders with them? Man, was this violator lucky she was a woman, or one of those massive players she was running towards probably would have laid her out right on the spot. Not only does this kind of behavior cause a disruption to the game, but it also presents a legitimate player safety concern. God forbid one of these crazed fans went down onto the field with the intention to actually hurt one of the players instead of just draw the attention of thousands of people. Again, there is a long history of strange fan encounters in the NFL, but not all of them are the result of a fan running down onto the field. In fact, some of them have taken place because a player willingly puts themselves at the mercy of the fans by jumping up into the stands and getting a little too up close and personal. This has actually been a long-standing tradition in the NFL, players jumping up into the stands to celebrate a big play, particularly in Green Bay, where players have been performing the Lambeau Leap for decades now. And while most Lambeau Leaps have gone down without incident, there have been a few times that have gotten a bit questionable, and well, strange. Like when this Packers fan got a little bit too comfortable with star running back Aaron Jones. Now listen, I understand that these moments get a little bit hectic for all those involved. I mean, 1 second, it's just business as usual. You're sitting in the stands, sipping your beer, eating your hot dog, regular fan type activities. Then a big play happens, and the next thing you know, one of your favorite team's best players is right up in your grill. It's only natural to get excited, I get it. But this lady in the yellow poncho looks like she knew what she was doing. I know she wanted to get in the mix, and in fairness, her vision was a little bit obstructed by the other fans closer to Jones, but come on. She's old enough to know what she feels when she feels it, and it doesn't look like her knowing that discouraged her. Quite the contrary, in fact. Jones, however, seemed to take the incident in stride, and not much was made about it other than some hubbub on social media when the clip made the rounds. Honestly, he might not even noticed, considering how many hands were all over him and the adrenaline rush of the touchdown. This isn't the only time we've seen a female fan take some liberties with how they physically embrace a football player. How about what happened to former Texas star wide receiver Andre Johnson after he scored a touchdown against the division rival Colts? This fan was a lot less shameless than the woman in the yellow poncho in Green Bay. You can see the excitement on her face when she got Johnson in her grips and started smacking his backside. The often mercurial Johnson, like Jones, seemed unbothered, if not unaware entirely. So not much was made out of the incident, but still a very strange encounter to witness from afar. Now, not all these fan encounters go down so amicably. In fact, we've seen a couple over the years that have nearly ended up reaching a malice at the palace type of level. Like when Seattle defensive lineman Quentin Jefferson climbed into the stands to fight a Jags fan that had thrown a drink down onto the field at him after he was ejected from the game. Thank God the security team was right on the scene and was able to act swiftly to keep Jefferson from getting up over that railing. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened? Because you can see from his body language that the near 300-pounder was enraged. My guess is that incident would have ended badly in a major way, particularly if he got his hands on that fan that took it upon himself to throw the drink at the already riled up defensive lineman. Now, I don't want to encourage this sort of behavior from Jefferson, because obviously you can't have it, but if anyone deserves a good thumping, it's a fan who thinks they can throw drinks at players just because they have a physical barrier and stadium security to keep them safe from any retribution. That is the most cowardly, low-life sort of harassment, and I hope that security was able to pick out exactly who did it, and that they are now banned from attending NFL games. A lifetime ban is absolutely deserved. Quentin Jefferson is not the only NFL player we've seen put in this sort of predicament by a scumbag fan. We saw something similar take place in Los Angeles when a fan at the Coliseum started to harass Marcus Peters, who was playing quarterback for the Rams at the time. Now, in this case, I'm not going to take quite as hard of a stance as I did in the case of Quentin Jefferson. There's a drastic difference between simply heckling a player and throwing a drink at them. For Peters, it was more just a bizarre encounter, particularly because the interaction got caught on camera and circulated around social media. Peters, perhaps unsurprisingly, has actually been involved in a couple of strange encounters with fans. And not all of them have been this confrontational. In fact, a couple have actually been pretty hilarious. Like the time that Peters was seen shotgunning a beer in the stands, with what appears to be a pocket of Ravens fans in Buffalo after a victory over the Bills. This to me is what sports is all about. The team gets a big win, and you celebrate. Have fun. Connect with the people. Well, the NFL apparently disagrees, having fined Peters nearly $15,000, making for a rather expensive beer, which of course is hilariously hypocritical considering the onslaught of alcohol commercials aired during their games. But I digress. In addition to his strange encounters as a member of the Rams and Ravens, Peter has also had a great story arise as a member of the Chiefs. And Peter's Chiefs were playing the Raiders back in 2017, and a fight broke out between the teams. Marshawn Lynch, who was on the Raiders at the time, got ejected after rushing onto the field to break up the fight because Peters, his cousin, was at the center of the conflict. Lynch apparently proceeded to watch the rest of the game in the stands with the fans. Then, he and Marcus Peters took the BART train home with the fans. And that motley crew had all sorts of fun. Lynch started an F the Chiefs chant, and both he and Peters took it upon themselves to teach some random German dude how to pop his collar, which was a pretty hilarious video in its own right. And last but not least, we have this awesome exchange between Randy Moss and a look-alike fan wearing a mask of the star wide receiver. The cameras catch Moss noticing the fan, and then when Moss acknowledges him, recreating the gesture the fan did, the crowd went absolutely wild. Between the admittedly somewhat creepy mask and the interesting gesture the two were doing, this was a strange encounter indeed. But again, all in good fun. But what do you think was the strangest encounter at an NFL game between the players and fans? Did we miss anything? Join us in the comment section below. If you like this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.